All right. All righty, everybody. Well, we're back with our next guest. Great stuff here. Absolutely enjoyable. I know that you are taking time out of a very hectic wedding schedule there that you're in out of town, your normal spot there for a family wedding. I've been enjoying some of the photos and Instagram lives. It looks like it's definitely a full contacted wedding, huh?
I mean, I think we completed event number 7 last night. We're going on event number 8 today. It's a big fat Indian wedding.
Well, hey, everybody, if you don't know who Ruby Fremon is, you're going to definitely want to take some notes down on here. Ruby is the host of Love Punch podcast, and she's got a great little bio. Ruby is a coach for the new generation of thought leaders as a top breakthrough coach for purpose-driven leaders who are ready to bring their big missions into the spotlight. Her no bullshit approach ignites true transformation while flipping fear into actualized ambition and doubt into absolute confidence. Ruby works with leaders from artists to entrepreneurs who are ready to rise above their limitations and amplify their message. Coaching 100-plus clients, she's a catalyst for change, is hugely successful at helping her clients embody radical resilience and an unstoppable mentality. And named an inspirational woman by the Huffington Post and creator of the 3-day leadership training intensive, Amplified Soul Live. His bold, no-nonsense approach helps leaders rise up to fill their missions and make their voices heard. And we are honored to have you join us here on National Podcast Day here for you with the Icons of Influence version out here. So welcome.
I'm super stoked to be here. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for putting this together. This is super exciting.
Yeah, now we've got great audiences listening out there. We've got great people joining us here online here. So Ruby, tell us a little about Love Punch. I'm enjoying binging the last few episodes on here, getting a feel for everything. Love what you're doing. I know you're a very active coach. We talked about this when we were at New Media Summit as well, but share a little about who Ruby Fremon is, all right?
Yeah, so Love Punch really describes my delivery and the way in which I work with my clients. I'm very loving. I hold space for you, but I also do not hold space for bullshit. So I will call you out. And I think that I work with a very specific type of clientele and attract a very specific type of audience because of my no-nonsense delivery. I choose to work with purpose-driven souls, people who know what their purpose is, however, feel as though they are blocked from truly pursuing it or fulfilling it. And in the work that I do with them, help them realize what it is that they need to do to get past those blocks and amplify their message in a really big way so that their mission then turns into a movement.
Love the way you put it. You're just real as fuck. Let's just get straight to the point, all right?
Yes, I'm real as fuck, for sure. Yeah, it's real as fuck, resilient as fuck. I'm a no-nonsense coach for no-nonsense leaders who really want to just fucking get their message out there and do it in a really big way.
Exactly. What's been the biggest aha of you having your podcast, Love Punch? What's the biggest thing you've learned from doing episodes and talking with your guests?
Okay, so I don't know if anyone's mentioned this yet. The biggest aha I learned is that I am in charge. So there have been times very early on in my podcast where I let guests kind of run the show to be polite. I no longer do that. And I think it's really important for people who are looking to podcast or for other podcasters out there to realize that you get to run the show when it comes to your podcast, which means you get to direct the conversation where you want it to go. So it's been a learning curve for me to be able to do that and to do that. It's in a live format because you're recording live and you're doing things live. So if anything, it's really helped me become that much more confident in my delivery and my gifts and what it is that I'm here to do.
Kim Sutton says, ha, me too. I am in charge. Huge aha.
I feel like podcasters get this. I think people who don't podcast might not get that, what I'm saying. And they might say like, oh, that's kind of cocky. But when you start podcasting and you start doing interviews and having conversations with people, it is a thing. It's a thing. You have to learn that this isn't about being polite. It's about really getting the truth nuggets out of your guests, the shit that you really want to talk about. Because a lot of people, and this is a lot of the work that I do with my clients, we put on facades, right? People want to be perceived in a certain way. They position themselves in a certain way to achieve X, Y, and Z, or to be recognized as something. And they do that because they see other people doing it and it works for them. But what they fail to realize is that if that is not aligned with your authentic truth or with your values or who you are as an individual or brand, it's going to come across as very inauthentic. And so when people come on my podcast and they show up in that way now, I will call them out on their bullshit and steer the conversation back into where it needs to be, which is like raw, honest truth telling.
So is there a process that you do before interviewing somebody to kind of find the right questions to help kind of dig that raw truthness out?
The process is called a really honest as fuck conversation with them. So I get them on a call before and I'm like, look, I'm not here to like dig out your story. If someone wants to read about your story, here, go on your page in your website. I mean, fact. What I want to know is like the juicy details that people aren't necessarily talking about, that your audience is probably dying to hear. And in order to do that, you as a guest, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, whoever it is, like whoever's listening right now, if you want to show up in that way for your audience or be a really awesome guest on a podcast, you have to be willing to drop the mask and the facade and be real about what it is that you're about to share, and not just share the vanilla or the overly filtered truth.
Take off the facade, take off the mask, and let's share the other side of the mask, right?
Yeah, and like the work, again, like what I do with my clients and with my audience and everything that I do, my programs, my coaching, it all involves a process that I call CPR. Can we talk about this? Because I think
talk about it. Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
So a lot of people have trouble with visibility. Right? Nowadays, like they know what their message is. They know that they have a purpose. They know what they're here to do. And yet they're holding themselves back. I mean, people want to dish out excuses. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough resources. It's like, great. But there's free things that exist for you to get your message out there called social media. Like there's nothing stopping you from doing this except you. And so whatever the shit is that you keep telling yourself, the bullshit, the excuses, what do I have to say that's different? My industry is oversaturated. No one's going to listen to my message. Who am I to be doing this? I'm scared if I become visible, X, Y, and Z will happen. What if I fail? I mean, I'm sure people listening right now, you can resonate with at least one of those things that I've just said to you. So my process of CPR really helps people navigate through that, because we can't get rid of these beliefs. These are things that our unconscious mind has picked up, and our unconscious mind creates stories around it. And so it becomes embedded into everything we do. And say the belief is, I don't have anything of value to share that's different than other people in my industry. Well, you're going to gravitate towards seeking out evidence to prove that belief to be right. Our minds are tricky things. So you're going to, anytime that you say something and people don't listen, you're going to be like, see, my belief is right. We do these fucked up things to ourselves and people don't realize this. And so by using CPR, this helps you navigate through that. So C is courage. And this is about having the courage to do the thing that you're stopping yourself from doing. So if the thing that you're stopping yourself from doing is doing a video, let's just make it super simple, is doing a Facebook Live, then rather than try to shift that belief or shift your mindset, just fucking do the video. Like, just hit record, do the fucking video, because by doing it, by taking action, that in turn starts to debunk that belief. Like, a lot of people try and shift their mindset first, whereas I'm very big on action. Like, take action and then the shifts happen. And so whatever it is that you're most scared of doing, lean into it, have the courage to take action that'll get you on the other side of it. and things start to become more clear. The P in CPR is persistence. And I always describe persistence as like the fuel that gets you, the vehicle, from A to B, B being like where you want to be. So in this game of leadership or entrepreneurship or podcasting, whatever it is that you're doing, persistence matters because it's what's going to push you and drive you from where you are to where you want to be. Because shit happens. You're going to hit dead ends. Like there are going to be times when you feel like you can't try anymore because you've just been going at it for so long and shit just isn't falling into place. I mean, we all have these things that we tell ourselves and we want to quit, but quitting in itself is a choice. And I think people forget that. I think people forget that if you quit, that is a choice, that is a conscious decision that you are making. And by making that decision, you're actually consciously deciding not to continue. Yeah. So by choosing persistence, what you're saying is, I choose to continue. I choose to persevere. I choose to keep going despite the circumstances, despite what's going on, despite whatever obstacles keep going my way, being thrown my way. And persistence is really important because it's all about you and your sheer drive and your sheer will to get to where you want to be, to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, to become recognized as the expert that you know you are. And then the R in CPR is my personal favorite. You know, people ask that question, what is your superpower? And I always say resilience is mine. And resilience is really a muscle. You know, it's like, the only thing we have control over in our lives really is us, right? We only have control over us. We do not have control over anything that happens outside of us. So we can't control, like, shit's going to hit the fan. People are going to get in your way. People will probably try and drag you down. You're going to fail. You're going to fuck up. This is all part of the journey. Yep. But what do you do in those moments? You know, and in those moments we have a choice. When you fuck up, when you fail, or when failure hits you, or when someone knocks you down, there is that moment of truth and of choice where we can choose to get back up, or we can choose to just sit there and then not keep going and quit. And so resilience is your bounce back factor. It's how quickly you can get back up. And for a lot of people who haven't used the resiliency muscle often, it can be maybe their bounce back factor is like 30 days. Maybe it takes you 30 days to get back up and start going again. But the more that you use that muscle, the shorter that timeline becomes, you know? So some people can go from like 30 days of like feeling like shit and then getting back up on their feet and doing it again to like, I just need like 15 seconds to feel like shit and then I'm going to get back up. So the more that you practice these things, courage, persistence, resilience, on a daily basis, anytime fear comes up, anytime your mind concocts these fucked up stories that are holding you back from doing what it is that you want to do and being who it is that you know you're here to be, remember CPR and ask yourself, what is one courageous piece of action I can take right now? Is there an area of my life or something that I need to be more persistent on? And am I really practicing resiliency?
I love it. That's great stuff. That's a great CPR. Courage, persistence, resilience. I love that, Ruby. That's awesome stuff. I didn't just lose you on the video, did I? No? Okay.
Thank you. Nope, I'm here. My internet connection is unstable. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. I quieted my video to give you full bandwidth on that there.
Awesome.
So besides those three things on that aspect of there, what's one big suggestion that you'd give to new podcasters out there, to people looking to start a podcast or starting one?
Just fucking do it. You know, like, I think when you have the desire, if you have the desire to start a podcast, if you have the desire, that is all you need, period. You know, you wouldn't have the desire if it weren't possible. That seed wouldn't be planted in you if it weren't possible. The excuses that you're telling yourself right now are simply excuses. You know, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to do it, like fucking hire someone, like have someone to help you on the back end stuff. If you don't understand the back end stuff, like just put in that effort and get your fucking message out there. Like, I think most people want to podcast because they have something to share and something of value to share with the world. So just share it, because you're going to learn along the way. So if you're just sitting there spinning your wheels trying to figure out how you can launch this in the most perfect, most desirable way possible, I think me and everyone else who has been streaming today will tell you that there is no such thing as a perfect launch, and you aren't going to get it 1,000% right the first time, or even the first 10 episodes, or even your first year of podcasting. But we learn as we go along. Like every single episode, I learn something new, and I apply that to the next episode. So just get started.
Great points we got out there. Sheila says resilience is the key to life. Thanks for sharing this. She says also, just start a podcast. Just get out there and start doing it there. But that's the thing. It's so much easier now than it was a decade ago for people, you know, with Facebook Live or LinkedIn video or smartphones that you can live stream straight through. So much easier to get your message out there than it used to be. And so there's really no excuse for you not doing what you want to do in a podcast, right, Ruby?
Exactly. There's no excuse. And like, honestly, I think one of the things people stumble on is like, I don't know how. Cool. Like, you have a Facebook account, right? Hey, I want to start a podcast and I need help. And I can assure you, you're going to get connected to people who can help you with the back end stuff. So there's really no excuses. You have the desire because you want to get your message out there. Cool. Just fucking do it.
Now, Ruby, you also put on some live events too to help people overcome things. You've got an upcoming event coming here before too long, don't you? You want to talk about that for a couple minutes?
Yes. Amplified Soul Live is going into its third year, which is super exciting. And it takes place February 22nd to the 24th in Los Angeles. So for those of you seeking some sunshine in the winter, come on down. But this is really a 3-day, it's so much more than an event. It's a 3-day live intensive to help you amplify your presence, influence, and impact. So anyone who is really seeking to become a recognized thought leader in their respective industries, this is the event for you. Because not only will you learn real strategies and real tools to help you become that recognized influential expert, but you will also connect with a very like-minded community of people. I mean, people who have come to our events have started their own masterminds and collaborated on projects together. And it's just such a really cool environment to grow and to expand. And I guarantee that when you attend Amplified Soul Live, you will leave with the tools and strategies you need to amplify your presence, influence, and impact so you can make a dent in this world.
Yeah, great stuff. What has been the biggest nugget that you have taken in just well, actually, hang on a second. Let me rephrase that. Where do you think where do you see your show going in the next 12 months as a podcast?
Yes, great question. I have no idea. Where do I want it to go? I mean, I would love for this to translate into my own TV show. I love having conversations that are raw and real. I love digging beneath the surface and getting the real juice out of people. And so I would love to continue just sharpening my tools in this and getting this to a point where it is actually a TV show and I can continue digging and getting people's real messages out there, because I think that there's a lot of amazing people out there doing incredible work, and they often share just the highlight reels, which is great and inspirational, but I want to hear everything. And I think that that's super helpful for everyone listening, just to see that. So I want to bring more truth into the podcasting world and also to TV.
So I question for you, if you're wanting to go that route, Are you utilizing video? Are you using Facebook Lives or Be Live or anything like that to help you out with your quest to be a show?
Yeah, so my podcast actually does have a video format. It's on, it gets aired on the Bill Wooditch Network right now, and it's also all getting prepped to go out on my YouTube channel right now as I speak. So it's all out there on video. I love doing lives. I do lives on my Facebook page as well as my private groups, which you can connect to via my Facebook page, as well as IGTV. So I utilize all the video platforms because I love video. I think that it's just it's my way of connecting with my audience, and it's how I connect best. So yes, I am utilizing all the things that involve video, and I'm just excited to really see my vision come into fruition to start amplifying more potent truth into this world.
Good stuff. Best way for people to get a hold of you, Ruby, or connect with you?
Yes. Come join me on social. You can find me on all the platforms. My handle is @IamRuby. And you can also head to my website for more information on my event and my free trainings, which is rubyfremon.com.
Awesome. Good stuff, Ruby. Thank you so much for making time out of your big fat Indian wedding that you're attending. There's got to be a movie about it. There's so much that goes into those, right?
I feel like the movie is like my IG stories right now. So if you guys want like an insider look on what's been going on, just head to my Instagram and watch the stories.
Good stuff. Well, hey, have a great time. Thanks for joining us International Podcast Day. We look forward to spend some more time with you and connecting more and really helping each other in their businesses going forward. All righty?
Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right. Stop that. We've got our next guest. I saw him peek in there. Oh, where did he go?